The first time Dr. Celine Vale called me her wife, I thought I had heard her wrong. I was barefoot in the middle of a hospital lobby, one hand wrapped around an IV pole, the other pressed against my stomach like I could protect the tiny heartbeat inside me from the whole world. My ex stood 10 feet away from me. My family stood behind him, and every nurse at St. Aurelia Hospital had gone silent. "You're coming home," Adrian said, his voice sharp enough to cut through the beeping machines behind me. "You've embarrassed us long enough." I took one step back, my knees almost gave out. Then the elevator doors opened. Everyone turned. Dr. Celine Vale walked out in a white surgical coat, her black hair tied back, her expression colder than the steel instruments she used in the operating room. The entire lobby changed when she entered. People straightened. Doctors stopped talking. Even Adrian stopped smiling. She didn't look at him first. She looked at me, at my shaking hands, at my pale face, at the way I was holding my stomach like it was the only thing in the world I still owned. Then she stepped in front of me. "Move away from her," she said. Adrian laughed nervously. "And who exactly are you?" For 1 second, Celine said nothing. Then she reached behind her, took my trembling hand and pulled me gently against her side. Her wife. My heart stopped. Adrian's eyes dropped to my stomach. "That baby isn't yours." Celine's fingers tightened around mine. Her voice stayed calm, deadly calm. "No," she said, "that baby is mine too." 24 hours earlier, I didn't even know her name. By midnight, she had saved my life. By morning, I was legally married to the coldest alpha surgeon in the city, and by the time I understood what she had done, I was already afraid I never wanted her to let me go. The night everything changed, it was raining so hard the city looked like it was drowning. I had no umbrella, no coat, no plan. Just a hospital address written on the back of an old receipt, $43 in my pocket, and a baby inside me who had not asked to be born into my mess. My name is Mira Harlow. 6 months pregnant, unbonded, unclaimed, and according to my family, completely ruined. They had already chosen a solution for me. Adrian, my ex-fiancé, the man who smiled in public and locked doors in private, the man who told everyone I was unstable when I stopped obeying him, the man who said no one else would want me now. Not with a baby, not with a scandal, not with my name whispered like a warning in every room I entered. But that night, when I heard him speaking to my father downstairs, planning to sign my medical rights over to himself before the baby was born, something inside me finally broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough for me to pack one small bag and run. I didn't run for myself. I had given up on myself months ago. I ran because the tiny heartbeat inside me deserved one person brave enough to choose her, even if that person had to be me. By the time I reached St. Aurelia Hospital, my vision was swimming. The automatic doors opened with a soft hiss. Warm air hit my face. Then the floor tilted. A nurse shouted. Someone caught my shoulder. I remember trying to say, "Please don't call my family," but my mouth didn't work. The last thing I saw before the world went black was a pair of dark eyes looking down at me. Cold, focused, terrifying, and then a woman's voice cut through the chaos. "Move, she's crashing." One word, and the entire emergency room obeyed. When I woke up, I didn't know where I was. Everything smelled like antiseptic, rain, and something clean that reminded me of winter. A heart monitor beeped beside me. My throat hurt. My body felt heavy. For one horrible second, I forgot why my hand was on my stomach. Then I remembered. My eyes flew open. My baby. A shadow moved near the window. "You're both alive." I turned my head. The woman from the emergency room stood there, arms folded over her white coat, her expression unreadable. She was tall, beautiful in a sharp, untouchable way. Not soft beauty, not warm beauty. The kind of beauty that made people nervous because it looked like it had never needed permission to exist. Her name badge read, Dr. Celine Vale, Chief of Surgery. I had heard that name before. Everyone in the city had. The Ice Alpha of Saint Aurelia. The surgeon who could save people no one else would touch. The woman who never smiled, never explained herself twice, never let anyone close enough to disappoint her. I swallowed. My baby is alive? Dr. Vale looked at the monitor beside me. Yes. My eyes burned. Is she okay? For the first time, something shifted in her face. Not warmth exactly, but less ice. She is stubborn, she said. A broken laugh escaped me. She gets that from me. Dr. Vale looked at me then, really looked. You nearly died. I didn't have anywhere else to go. You were bleeding. I know, you should have come sooner. I know. Her jaw tightened. It was strange, she sounded angry, but not at me, at the world that had made me wait so long. A nurse entered with a tablet in her hands, but the moment she saw Dr. Vale's face, she froze. Doctor, she said carefully. There's an issue with the paperwork. Dr. Vale didn't look away from me. What issue? The nurse's eyes flicked toward me, then back to her. The emergency protection consent. Celine's expression sharpened. What about it? The nurse lowered her voice. It registered. The room went quiet. I looked between them. What registered? The nurse said nothing. Dr. Vale took the tablet from her hand. Her eyes moved across the screen. Once, twice. Then her face went completely still. I felt my pulse start to climb. What happened? I whispered. Dr. Vale didn't answer immediately. That scared me more than anything, because this woman looked like she could tell someone they were dying without blinking. But now she looked like the truth had surprised even her. Finally, she set the tablet down. Mira, she said. It was the first time she said my name, and somehow my whole body heard it. There was no emergency contact in your file. You were unconscious. The baby was in distress. I signed a temporary alpha protection consent so we could operate without delay. I nodded slowly. Okay. Her eyes stayed on mine. The hospital system processed it under old alpha family law. My throat tightened. What does that mean? The nurse looked down. Dr. Vale said it herself. It means the consent was accepted as a spousal protection bond. I stared at her. I don't understand. Her voice was calm, too calm. It means, legally, you and I are married. The monitor beside me started beeping faster. No. Dr. Vale stepped closer. Mira. No. I tried to sit up, pain flashing through my body. I can't be married. I don't even know you. I know. You signed something? To save your life. You married me? To save your life. The words should have made it better. They didn't. Because my life had never belonged to me for long. Every time someone said they were saving me, they always ended up owning another piece of me. Dr. Vale must have seen the fear on my face. Because her voice changed. Lower. Quieter. I will not touch you. I will not claim rights over you. I will not use this against you. The moment you are stable, I will help you annul it. I should have felt relieved. Instead, something twisted painfully inside my chest. Of course she wanted it gone. Of course she did. Women like Dr. Celine Vale did not accidentally marry women like me and call it fate. They called it paperwork. 3 hours later, Adrian found me. I heard his voice before I saw him. Loud, polished, fake worried. She's my fiancée. I have the right to see her. I went cold. Dr. Vale was reviewing my chart at the foot of my bed. The second she heard him, her eyes lifted. My hand moved to my stomach. Please, I whispered. Don't let him in. She looked at me. No questions, no judgment, just one simple nod. Then she walked to the door and opened it before Adrian could force his way inside. He stood in the hallway with my father behind him. My mother was crying in the way she always cried when she wanted everyone to blame me. Adrian smiled when he saw Dr. Vale. That smile faded when he realized she wasn't moving. I'm here for Mira, he said. No. He blinked. Excuse me? She is not accepting visitors. I'm her fiancé. Dr. Vale's gaze dropped to his empty hands. No ring. His jaw tightened. That's family business. She is my patient. She is carrying a child connected to my household. My stomach turned. Dr. Vale went very still. Connected? Adrian looked past her, trying to see me. She's confused, emotional. She ran away. I'll take responsibility for her from here. Responsibility. The word made my skin crawl. Dr. Vale stepped into the doorway fully, blocking his view of me. You will leave. My father scoffed. You have no authority over our daughter. For 1 second, nobody moved. Then Dr. Vale looked at the nurse beside her. Security. Adrian's face darkened. You don't want to do that. Dr. Vale tilted her head. No? You have no idea who my family is. I know exactly who your family is, she said. And I know your name is not on her medical consent. His smile returned. Then whose is? That was when the hallway went silent. Dr. Vale did not hesitate. Mine! Adrian stared at her. What? The nurse looked like she wanted to disappear into the wall. Dr. Vale's voice did not change. Mira Vale is under my spousal protection. My breath caught. Mira Vale. She said it like it was real, like I was hers, like my name had always belonged beside hers. Adrian looked at me then, and for the first time since I had known him, he looked afraid, not of me, of the woman standing between us. This is a mistake, he said. Dr. Vale's eyes sharpened. Yes, she replied. Your first one was thinking she had no one. By the next morning, hospital legal confirmed the worst part. The marriage was valid. Temporary annulment was possible, but not immediate. Because I was pregnant, injured, and under threat, the court would not dissolve the bond until a protection review. That meant Dr. Celine Vale, chief surgeon, hospital legend, coldest alpha in the city, was legally my wife. And she hated complications. I could tell. She stood beside my bed while the legal officer explained everything, her face unreadable, but her fingers tapped once against her clipboard. Only once. That was the only sign she was irritated, or nervous, or trapped. I couldn't tell. When the legal officer left, I stared at the blanket covering my knees. I'm sorry. Dr. Vale looked at me. For what? Ruining your life. You didn't. I kind of did. No, she said. The law did. Your family did. The man outside your room did. You did not. I looked up at her. She said things so directly, it was hard not to believe her. What happens now? You leave the hospital today. My heart dropped. Oh, with me. My eyes widened. She continued like she had not just rearranged the ground under my feet. My residence is secure. Private elevator. Medical room. No one enters without my permission. You want me to live with you? No. That hurt more than it should have. Then she added, I want you alive. I looked away. That's not the same thing. No, she said, but it is where we start. So that evening, Dr. Celine Vale took me home. Not to a house, to a penthouse above the old medical district, all glass walls, quiet rooms, and city lights. Everything was expensive. Everything was spotless. Everything looked like no one had ever cried there. She showed me the guest room. The bathroom has heated floors. Medication is in the left drawer. Emergency button beside the bed. Kitchen is stocked. Don't lift anything heavier than the blue folder on your table. I blinked. There's a blue folder? Yes. What's in it? Your care plan. You made me a care plan? You are 6 months pregnant and recovering from surgery. Right. She turned to leave. Dr. Vale? She stopped. Celine, she corrected. My mouth went dry. Celine. Her name felt too intimate for a woman who stood like a locked door. Are you always like this? Like what? Cold. For a second, I thought I had gone too far. Then she looked at me. I am efficient. That wasn't my question. Something almost like amusement touched her eyes. Then it disappeared. Yes, she said. I am always like this. But that night, when I woke up from a nightmare with my hand over my mouth so I wouldn't scream, I opened my bedroom door and found her sitting in the hallway. Not sleeping, not reading, just sitting there, back against the wall, one knee raised, her white shirt sleeves rolled to her elbows, like she had been guarding the door. "You were crying," she said. I wiped my face. "I'm fine. Lying raises your pulse." "You can hear my pulse?" Her eyes flicked to my throat. Yes. I should have been scared. Instead, I felt seen in a way that made my chest ache. "I don't want to be a problem," I whispered. Celine stood. "You are not a problem. I'm pregnant. I noticed. I'm married to you by accident." I also noticed. A laugh broke out of me before I could stop it. It turned into a sob. Celine didn't move closer. She waited. That was the first thing I learned about her. She never touched without permission, even when every part of her looked built to protect. "Can you?" I swallowed. "Can you stay?" Her expression changed. Just slightly. "Yes." She sat in the chair beside my bed until morning, and when I woke up, there was a glass of water on my table, my medication arranged in order, and a note in her sharp handwriting. "You are safe here. Both of you." I read it 6 times. 3 days later, Celine took me for a private ultrasound. She insisted it was medical, strictly routine, nothing emotional. Then the baby's heartbeat filled the room, fast, tiny, alive. I turned my face away because I didn't want her to see me cry, but Celine was not looking at me. She was looking at the screen. Her cold expression had cracked, just enough for me to see the wound underneath. The technician smiled. Strong heartbeat. Celine's hand curled against the edge of the chair. I whispered, "Do you want to leave?" Her eyes snapped to mine. "No. You look upset." "I'm not upset. You're gripping the chair like you want to break it." She released it immediately. The technician quietly excused herself. The room went still. I looked at the screen. "She's real," I whispered. Celine's voice was softer than I had ever heard it. "Yes. I keep being scared I'll lose her." For a long moment, Celine said nothing. Then she said, "I lost someone once." I turned to her. "A patient?" Her jaw tightened. "My sister." My breath caught. "She was pregnant?" Celine nodded once. "I was a resident. Brilliant. Arrogant. Convinced skill was enough." Her eyes stayed on the ultrasound screen. "It wasn't. I'm sorry." After that, I decided not to feel anything in an operating room again. "Did it work?" She looked at me then. "No mask, no ice, just fear." "No," she said. "Because now I am terrified every time you touch your stomach." My heart forgot how to beat. Celine looked away first. "I shouldn't have said that." "Why?" "Because this marriage is temporary." The word temporary should have been comforting. It wasn't. The baby kicked then. Hard. I gasped. Celine stepped forward instantly. "What happened?" She kicked. Her eyes dropped to my stomach. I don't know what made me brave. Maybe the heartbeat. Maybe the way Celine looked like she wanted to care and hated herself for it. I took her hand. She froze. "Is this okay?" I whispered. She nodded. "Barely." I placed her palm against the side of my stomach. For a second, nothing happened. Then the baby kicked again. Celine stopped breathing. Her fingers trembled. Just once. But I felt it. The cold alpha surgeon who never lost control trembled because my baby moved under her hand. "She knows you," I whispered. Celine's eyes lifted to mine. Something in them was dangerous now. Not cruel, not cold. Dangerous because it was honest. "She shouldn't," she said. "Why?" "Because I don't know how to want something gently." The court review was scheduled for Friday. Until then, Adrian grew desperate. He sent messages, flowers, threats disguised as apologies. My father called Celine's office and demanded a meeting. My mother left voicemails saying I was breaking the family. Then the hospital board got involved. I found out by accident. Celine was in her study, door half open. I heard another doctor's voice through her speaker. "You signed a spousal bond with a patient, Celine. The board is asking questions." I signed an emergency consent. It became a marriage. She was dying. And now she's living in your home. She was threatened. "You're risking your position." Silence. Then Celine said, Then let them take the position. My hand flew to my mouth. The call ended. I should have walked away. Instead, I stepped into the doorway. You can't do that. Celine turned. How much did you hear? Enough. Her face closed again. It doesn't concern you. It does if you're losing everything because of me. I am not losing everything. You said they can take your position. And they can. Celine. The way her name came out of my mouth made her look at me. Really look. I stepped closer. You don't even know me. I know enough. You know I'm pregnant. You know I'm scared. You know I ran from people who want control over me. That's not the same as knowing me. Her eyes darkened. I know you apologize when you are hurt. I know you wake up at 3:12 every morning because that is when the nightmares are worst. I know you pretend not to be hungry when you are anxious. I know you hum when the baby moves because you think no one hears it. I couldn't speak. Celine's voice lowered. I know you asked me if I was cold because you needed to know whether I could hurt you. My eyes burned. And can you? She looked like that question hit somewhere deep. Yes, she said quietly. That is why I keep distance. The honesty hurt, but it also made me trust her more. Adrian lied beautifully. Celine told painful truths. Then why won't you annul it? I whispered. The annulment papers had been sitting on her desk for 2 days, unsigned. Celine looked at them, then at me. The first time I signed something without reading it, it saved your life. Her eyes dropped to my stomach. The second time, I want to understand exactly what I am giving up. That night, I made the stupidest brave decision of my life. I left. Not because I wanted to, because I had started wanting to stay. And wanting things had always made them easier for people to take from me. I left Celine a note. You saved us once. I won't let you lose your career, your hospital, or your life because of us. Please sign the annulment. I'll be okay. I wasn't okay. I had nowhere safe to go. By the time I reached the old train station, my body was shaking so badly I could barely stand. My phone buzzed. Celine. I didn't answer. It buzzed again. Then a message appeared. Where are you? I closed my eyes. Another message. Mira, do not make me search the whole city with a surgical shift starting in 20 minutes. I will do it. A sob caught in my throat, then pain tightened across my stomach. Not sharp, but wrong. Very wrong. I gripped a bench. No, I whispered. No, no, no. My phone rang again. This time, I answered. For 1 second, neither of us spoke. Then Celine said my name. Not cold. Not controlled. Afraid. Mira. I'm sorry, I whispered. Where are you? I didn't want to ruin your life. My life is not your decision to ruin. Pain twisted again. I gasped. Celine's voice changed instantly. Mira, are you in pain? I think something's wrong. Tell me where you are. The old station. Stay on the phone. I'm scared. Her breathing shook. Just once. I know. Listen to me. Put your hand on your stomach. I am. Good. Breathe with me. I shouldn't have left. No, she said. You shouldn't have had to believe leaving was the only way to protect me. 10 minutes later, black cars stopped outside the station. Celine got out before they fully parked. Rain soaked her hair. Her white shirt clung to her shoulders. She looked furious, terrified, beautiful. She reached me and dropped to her knees in front of me, not caring about the wet ground, not caring who saw. Her hands hovered near my stomach. May I? I nodded. She touched me gently, so gently it broke me. I'm sorry, I cried. Her eyes lifted to mine. Do not apologize for being afraid. I left you. You came back when you answered. I'm not strong. Celine's jaw tightened. Mira, you walked into a storm carrying a child and still asked people not to worry about you. Do not insult my intelligence by calling yourself weak. I laughed and cried at the same time. Then another car pulled up. Adrian stepped out. Of course he had followed me. Of course the world never let me have one moment of peace. He smiled when he saw me on the bench. There you are. Celine stood slowly, The air changed. Adrian looked from her to me. "This is touching," he said. "But the game is over." Her family signed the petition. "She's coming with us." Celine's voice was quiet. "No. You can't keep pretending this marriage is real." Celine took one step forward. "I am done pretending." The protection hearing happened the next morning. I sat in a courtroom with Celine beside me. Not behind me. Beside me. Adrian's lawyer painted me as unstable. My father called me emotional. My mother cried. Adrian said he only wanted what was best for the baby. I sat there with my hands folded over my stomach, listening to everyone talk about me like I was a broken object they were deciding where to store. Then the judge looked at Celine. "Dr. Vale, do you wish to dissolve the accidental spousal bond?" The room went silent. My heart pounded so hard I thought everyone could hear it. This was her chance. Her clean exit. Her life back. No scandal, no pregnant stranger, no dangerous ex. No baby that was never supposed to be hers. Celine stood. "Yes," Adrian whispered. "Finally." Celine looked at the judge. "No." One word. The entire room shifted. The judge blinked. "No?" Celine's voice was steady. "I do not wish to dissolve the bond." Adrian shot to his feet. "This is insane. She trapped you." Celine turned her head slowly. "Sit down." He sat. I had never seen anyone obey so quickly. The judge leaned forward. "Dr. Vale, you understand what you are saying?" "I do. This marriage began as an emergency legal error." "Yes. And you still choose to maintain it?" Celine looked at me. For once, she didn't hide anything. "Yes." My eyes filled. The judge asked, "Why?" Celine's answer was not loud. It did not need to be. "Because the law accidentally gave me the right to stand between Mira and the people who hurt her. I am choosing to keep standing there." Adrian snapped. "That baby is not yours." Celine's eyes cut to him. "No child belongs to a man who uses them as a chain." My breath caught. She turned back to the judge. "I am not claiming ownership. I am claiming responsibility. Mira belongs to herself. Her daughter belongs to herself. But if they allow me, I will be their family." The courtroom blurred through my tears. The judge looked at me. "Mira Harlow, do you consent to remain under Dr. Vale's protection?" Celine's hand rested on the table between us. Open, waiting, not grabbing, not demanding, just there. My choice. For the first time in my life, someone powerful offered me safety without taking away my voice. I placed my hand in hers. "Yes," I whispered. "I consent." Celine's fingers closed around mine. Warm, firm, home. The judge approved the protection bond for 90 days. Adrian was ordered to stay away. My family left without looking at me. But I didn't feel abandoned, not anymore. Because Celine kept holding my hand even after the hearing ended. Even when the cameras outside the courthouse flashed. Even when reporters shouted questions. "Dr. Vale, is the marriage real?" Celine stopped. I froze beside her. She looked at me first. A silent question. I nodded. Then she faced the cameras. "Yes," she said. Another reporter shouted, "And the baby?" Celine's hand moved, careful and protective, to the small of my back. Her voice carried over everyone. "My wife and our daughter are not available for comment. Our daughter, not my burden, not my mistake. Our daughter." I started crying right there on the courthouse steps. Celine looked down at me, alarmed. "Are you in pain?" I shook my head. "No." "Then why are you crying?" I laughed through the tears. "Because you called her ours." Celine's expression softened. "Only for me. She was ours. The moment you let me hear her heartbeat." 2 months later, I woke up at 3:12 in the morning again. But this time, I did not wake from fear. I woke because the baby kicked so hard it startled me. Celine was asleep beside me in the chair. She still claimed she only sat there because late pregnancy required monitoring. I let her keep the lie. Her hair had fallen loose from its usual perfect knot. Her sleeves were rolled up. One hand rested near mine on the blanket, close enough to reach, but not touching unless I chose it. I whispered. Celine. Her eyes opened immediately. What's wrong? Nothing. She sat up anyway. The baby? She's kicking. Celine moved closer, then stopped, still asking without words. I smiled. Come here. She placed her hand on my stomach. The baby kicked again. For the first time since I had known her, Dr. Celine Vale smiled. Not a polite smile, not a cold one. A real smile. Small, rare, devastating. She likes you, I whispered. Celine looked at me. I hope so. She'll love you. Her throat moved. You don't know that. I do. How? Because I do. The words left my mouth before I could stop them. The room went still. Celine's hand remained on my stomach. Her eyes searched mine like she was looking for the trap. There wasn't one. I was tired of running from things just because they could hurt me. I love you, I whispered. And I know this started by accident. I know you didn't choose it at first, but I'm choosing it now. I'm choosing you now. Celine closed her eyes. For one terrifying second, I thought I had ruined everything. Then she leaned forward and pressed her forehead gently against mine. I chose you long before I allowed myself to admit it. My breath shook. You did? The night you asked me not to call your family, she whispered. You were terrified, barely conscious, and still protecting your child. I thought I was signing a form. Her thumb brushed over my stomach. But I think some part of me was making a promise. I laughed softly. You're very dramatic for someone who claims to be efficient. Her mouth curved. Only with my wife. My heart warmed at the word. Wife. This time, it didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like a beginning. Weeks later, when our daughter was born, Celine was the calmest person in the room. Until the baby cried. Then the cold alpha surgeon, who could command an operating room with one word, covered her mouth and cried silently. I had never loved her more. The nurse asked for the baby's name. I looked at Celine. Celine looked at me. We had argued about names for 3 weeks. Actually, I had suggested names. Celine had made spreadsheets, but when our daughter opened her tiny eyes, we both knew. Hope, I said. Celine's voice was soft. Hope Vale. The nurse smiled. I looked at Celine. You're sure? She touched our daughter's tiny hand. Then she looked at me with the kind of love I used to think only existed in stories other people deserved. I have never been more sure of anything. People still said our marriage began as an accident. Maybe it did. Maybe one wrong signature changed my life. Maybe one cold alpha surgeon signed a paper she didn't understand and accidentally became my wife. But accidents don't stay through nightmares. Accidents don't sit outside bedroom doors. Accidents don't place a hand over your baby's heartbeat and tremble. Accidents don't stand in court and choose you when leaving would be easier. Celine Vale was not my accident. She was my impossible, my safe place, my wife. And when our daughter wrapped her tiny fingers around Celine's thumb, the coldest alpha surgeon in the city looked at me and whispered, "Our baby." This time, nobody corrected her, not even me.